This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.
Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Another happy landing.
What's up, everybody? I'm Big Lovin, and this is Don DellaSnooch. Welcome to the Escape Pod, episode 63. Gekko-ing out with Dominic Pace.
Yeah.
Clankety clank, buddy.
How you doing?
I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. We're doing a real interview tonight, so I'm on both sides of the spectrum on that. I'm excited and nervous for that one, but it's gonna be a fun night. So how are you doing, man?
I'm doing about the same.
Nice.
About the same. Everything seems to be in order, and from the top down, everybody can hear us fine apparently in the chat. So that's good. Yeah. Except for Josh. Josh can't hear anything.
Yeah, maybe he muted himself.
He might not be tall enough.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to be this tall to ride.
Get in front of the speaker.
Yeah, there you go. Stand on a stool.
I didn't mean it. Yeah, I did. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all your favorite podcasting apps like iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, Audible, and Google Play. Check us out and other Red 5 Network podcasts for all kinds of excellent shows like Wookiee Radio with special guests last week. Me.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Right?
Nice.
Right? And the Force Losers just came out with a new episode about wisdom.
Nice. And that was a good episode. I actually got a chance to listen to
I haven't heard it yet. I'm assuming that it's somehow in reference to Star Wars.
It is in reference to Star Wars, but they go all over the place, and that's what makes it fantastic. It's not just Star Wars. They reference it to other things and their own personal lives, but it was a good-ass episode.
Nice. I like it.
Heck yeah. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast, please consider joining us live Wednesday nights on YouTube at youtube.com/c/ATSW The Escape Pod, all one word.
And I have typed that like 15 times this week.
Nice. Nice.
Please join us at patreon.com. Search ATSW The Escape Pod in the search creator bar to support our show and to get in on the exclusive Escape Crate.
Please visit our store on tpublic.com, search ATSW The Escape Pod, and make sure that you scroll down and look at all the random goodies like coffee mugs, stickers, and tote bags, in addition to sweet t-shirts and hoodies.
Right. Before you get into the shout-outs, let me shout out the chat.
Heck yeah.
We got Lunar Girl, Rural Farm Boy, Dragon Buddy, Josh Gutierrez, Use and Abuse Podcast, Brady Big Lovin was in the chat.
Yes. Jess is in the chat.
Jess is in the chat. Just Jen. That seems to be
that's all for right now.
So yep, that's the right nows.
So let's get into our other shout outs. First and foremost, always guys give a shout out to the Sidebar Cantina. That is the mothership. That is Dave and Jason. That is our New Jersey Delphians. That is the homies. They just finished up their month of May Star Wars, even though it was technically in June, as they always emphasize. But
this is the May.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. We're wrapping up our May Star Wars Spectacular with a little dash of oh my God, TARDIS. I can't think of your show.
Oh. Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. There you go. I thought of something from the show. At least
no, you did great.
I gave it away.
You did great.
Oh, hey, Supergirl. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Next, let's get to Use and Abuse with Kim and Scott. They just did. Oh man, they did a
double episode.
They did a double episode on what was it, Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday,
because Tuesday's their normal day.
Yep.
Yeah, so they did a double episode. They did a NASCAR thing in the morning, and then they did their normal rigmarole at night.
Cameron Kahn joined the chat too.
Oh, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining. He saluted us.
He did.
Was so nice of him.
He gave us the one finger salute.
Next, check out Big Swede's Excellent Adventure. And what the heck? You're trying to get me to read everything on the prompter. Sweetie Swede and the Salty Bunch and Tactical Swede and Swede Reacts on YouTube and Swede Studios. And I'm really mad you did that.
Eric Williams in the chat too.
Oh, what's up, guys?
It was my take on Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
It was unnecessary. You really threw me off. You really threw me off. I can't even get into my normal sweet. Like, you totally broke my sweet concentration. I have no pre-sweet left to throw. It's all gone.
It's so good. Patreon shout outs. Scott and Kim Rasmussen, Todd Lovin, Jen and Jess Bolt, Big Swede, Lunar Girl and Dragon Buddy, Richie the King Armbruster, Kristen Roscom, Old Man Johnson, Backyard TARDIS, Eric Dub Williams, Philly Dave Martin, and as always, Nostalgia Inc. for sponsoring the Escape Crate.
And we really, really greatly appreciate your Patreon. We just, correct me if I'm wrong, we just made our last payment on the soundboard.
Yep. And thanks to Jen and Jess, they upped their contributions.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Actually, I did see that. Yes, I did see that the other day.
And
alert for it.
Shout out to Backyard TARDIS earlier this week. He posted a video on his YouTube that included some swag that we sent him. So
awesome. Thank you.
Very cool. Movie news. Yes.
Let's do it.
It's movie time. Movie time. It's movie time. Movie time.
You know what I just popped into my head listening to the movie time? It's got a WandaVision vibe.
It does.
It very much has a WandaVision vibe. Even though that's based off of other television shows, that's immediately I think of WandaVision now.
Yep. And that's interesting too, because WandaVision was a period piece, somewhere in your head, WandaVision is a period piece, is period.
Right. Exactly. I know what you're saying.
Richie Rich Armbruster joined the chat, and so did Old Man Johnson. Thanks for coming and hanging out, guys.
We got a full house tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You want to kick us off?
Yeah, let's get into a Black Panther TV series. So, I always mess up her name. Denai Guerrera to reprise role as Okoye on Disney Plus.
Yep,
I like it. But
yeah, me too.
I wonder how it's going to pay in to the next.
I think it's going to be. Like Elseworlds kind of a thing. Like we're telling a story that's adjacent to connected. A thing you like.
Yeah, I got you.
But we're going to be kind of over here
doing this thing.
Yeah, but I believe it's going to be congruent with canon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely going to be part of canon. You can't not throw this stuff up on Disney Plus and be like, this isn't canon.
For sure.
Not in the MCU. Not anymore.
In the new Marvel trailer for their Phase 4, we got the title for the new Black Panther movie. We're going to get Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
I like it.
Me too.
I like it.
Me too.
I wonder if they're just going to go with Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, that's it. That's the title.
There's going to be no Black Panther 2 Wakanda. It's just straight up Wakanda Forever.
Well, the picture that I saw had Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever.
Okay. All right.
But
I would like it if it was just Wakanda Forever.
It's cleaner.
Yeah, that's a lot cleaner. I would like that. Aaron Taylor Johnson from most notably Kick-Ass to play Marvel's Kraven the Hunter for Sony Pictures. He also played in the Avengers. He was in the second Avengers Age of Ultron. He was the oh my god, Wanda's brother.
He was?
Yeah.
He played.
That's the same dude.
What's his name?
Yeah, that's the same dude.
Pietro Maximoff.
But his superhero name I can't. Oh my god.
Quicksilver.
There it is. Thank God. Jen came through. Thanks. So did you were first, but I see in there too in the chat.
She actually might have been first. The delay's pretty wicked today.
Yeah, it is pretty aggressive.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods starred Zachary Taylor. Celebrates start of filming. Says he's overcome with gratitude.
Nice.
What was your take on the first Shazam movie?
Haven't seen it yet.
Really?
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, I'm kicking myself. I want to see it, and I always forget about it. It's just a movie I commonly just forget about.
It's super fun.
And then every time it gets brought up, I'm like, oh, I want to see that movie.
It's super fun. I wouldn't go and say it's in game.
Right.
But it's super fun.
Yeah, no, it looks fun. I mean, I know the basis of he's a kid at one point, and then he's, Superman, if you will, in the next
Right.
transition.
Right.
Power up.
So, video games.
CD Projekt appoints a new game director for Cyberpunk. Gabriel Amatangello moves into the role following. Oh my God, we talked about this before the show, and I'm gonna butcher it.
Matthews
Tomaszewski. Cisnewski.
No, Zawiskit. Zawiskowicz. That's what it is. Zawiskowicz.
You can look that up. I'm not smelling it for you.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of consonants in it.
Yep. So I butchered that, but there it is.
It's got 2 Z's. It's a W. There's a CZ going on in there.
There's the whole hidden Mike Krzyzewski thing going on.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I know a guy whose last name is
Mike
Krzyzewski.
There's a whole thing happening in this one.
Yeah.
Yes. Pistachio. Exactly.
Tisha's got somebody in her family whose last name is Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski. I can't say it. I'm a Polak and I can't say it.
Jeez.
Hey, Spy TV Media Group is in the chat. Hey,
Hola.
Welcome to the show. Dragon Quest 12, The Flames of Fate, announced by Square Enix.
What's up, Mark?
With no release date yet.
They've been waiting on that one.
Well, if you are a fan of the Dragon Quest game series, like people have been waiting on that.
Yeah,
it's like Final Fantasy, people are in them.
I've heard the title. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance is coming to Xbox Game Pass on day 1.
Which, if you're a Games Pass guy, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think my son is. I think he has a Game Pass. I don't have it because I don't get into a whole lot of different games.
Because I paid $63 to pre-order that.
Dang.
It's not an option for us.
Right.
On my side of the
on the PlayStation
gaming
side. In the
equation.
PlayStation show.
The PlayStation show.
What's up, K-Dot?
These are the hot sheets. Best investigator reporting on the planet.
Always are.
This is some of the greatest hot sheet news ever.
I think so. I think
we've outdone ourselves with this news.
There is not a ton going on as far as rumors go right now.
Outdid ourselves. I'm just saying. You pulled one out there, and I love it.
Yep. Pauly Shore teases Encino Man 2. Pauly, Brendan Fraser, and Sean Astin are all ready.
I love it. I want it.
Yeah, I think it's great. But Pauly has teased this before. But, we never thought that we were going to get a Bill and Ted 3 either.
They say my mic sounds off.
Your mic sounds off. What sounds off about it? Is he too low? Mic 2.
Am I too low?
Talk about it.
Talk about it. Talking all about the things.
Is it better? I brought him up some.
It just he says off.
Off. Oh, like your mic is off? Oh, it's on.
It's on.
Sending signal.
Yeah. Uh-oh. We're going to have to work through it.
Uh-oh. It's off. Check your plug's good. I'm getting sound up here.
Yeah.
Oh.
He says it sounds distant. Sounds off.
How about now?
Sounds like another mic is picking him up. That's not good. Try it now. I'm trying it now. Milk curry and the red Gatorade. That's exactly what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't sound off to Jen.
Are you guys listening with headphones?
Yes, it's good. Yes. Better now. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Okay.
now
Awesome.
both mics are hot again. So
So sweet. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
yeah, things happen.
Damn
Ghost
you,
in the
red
machine.
Gatorade. Damn you to hell. Agreed, Dragon Buddy.
I just adjusted some of the volume a little bit.
That's what we do here.
I'm
Just on the fly.
I had him, or he was
Now
a little
it says
bit.
we've lost on.
Yeah, they're catching up. Yeah, they're in the time lapse, and we're just talking.
Oh, I gotcha.
We're talking through it.
I got you. You completely.
Yeah.
You looped into Doomdang.
They're in the under.
No, he's back. This is fantastic.
This is riveting.
This is the best show ever.
Yeah, we know. Ro is good at these things.
Sports. We have no sports this week.
No, there's just
NBA playoffs. It's round 1. Nobody really cares. Probably a lot of people are happy that the Lakers are down 2-3 to the Phoenix Suns. So I would probably say that's probably the most interesting thing. There you go. That's all I got.
Is Charles Barkley still playing for the
Charles
Suns?
Barkley is not playing for the Suns. He retired yesterday.
I hope so.
He'd been playing for a long time, though. He retired yesterday.
His knees are like 108 at this point. That's about all the pro basketball trivia I know.
Right.
Once upon a time, Charles Barkley played for the Suns.
Once upon a time.
Well, our guest has not yet joined us. So do you want to go through and go into the Bad Batch?
Yeah, let's go into the Bad Batch.
All right. The Bad Batch. Episode 5, Rampage, directed by Stuart Lee and written by Tamara Beecher Wilkerson. Hoping to discover who hired Shand to retrieve Omega, the Bad Batch go after Ord Mantell, where Echo knows of a Jedi informant named Sid.
She offers to find out about Shand in exchange for their help. Slavers have kidnapped a child named Moochie, and Sid will receive a reward from Jabba the Hutt if the Bad Batch helps her rescue the child. The Bad Batch get captured by the Slavers. With the help of Omega, they fight off the Slavers and rescue Moochie, who is a young Rancor.
Ro brings up an interesting point. Dominic is time zone challenged. He's way out on the West Coast, so
it happens.
These things are important. Taking her to Sid, Moochie is given back to Jabba the Hutt, or Jabba's right-hand man, Bib Fortuna, in exchange for a reward. Sid gives some of the reward to Hunter, but is unable to learn who hired Shand. She offers to give the Bad Batch more mercenary work in the future.
You know how they ended this with that they had to show dominance over the Rancor, and Wrecker was fighting him? I still am not annoyed by Wrecker yet. Like, I really thought Wrecker by now was going to be driving me crazy.
Right.
Not at all annoyed by him.
I really kind of like Wrecker.
Yeah, and they easily could have made him, because he's got that goofy voice. And he is kind of dumb sometimes.
Well, he's the comedic.
Yeah, the comedic relief. But I thought I was really going to be like, okay, shut up. Shut up. And I'm not like that with him. I'm really surprised, and I'm happy by that.
Yeah, I've been very pleased with really the way his character is rounded out. In fact, I find him almost too adorable, and I think that's probably why we're going to lose him.
Don't you say that.
I'm just saying.
Don't you talk those words.
If I'm the one writing the show, I'm going to make you fall in love with a character, and then I'm going to take it away. It's
still a cartoon, man. You can't rip it from the children.
Don't give me that. It's a cartoon stuff. Fennec Shand shot a cop in the face last episode.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Like that, I'm once reiterating from that chase scene was violent. And you really watch that chase scene, like she's shooting people and blowing things up just willy-nilly, man. Like not caring at all.
Right.
Just taking people out.
Yep. Filoni and Favreau could very well just snap your heart.
Right.
Oh, right. Dominic is he's in the chat. So
that's perfect timing.
That's the end of the show. And what we'll do is we'll recap the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
When we're done talking to Dominic.
Fantastic.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and even the fans of this show, Brady and I would like to introduce an actor you may recognize from spots on shows like Veep, NCIS, Desperate Housewives, The Superstore, and more recently, a well-respected bounty hunter, Gekko, on Disney Plus's Star Wars Mandalorian. Escapees, I give you Dominic Pace.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you? Hello to all your listeners. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Great.
Thanks for being here, man. We greatly appreciate it.
We're really excited you're here.
I appreciate you guys. This is if there's ever a fan character, this is it. It would be nothing without the fans and with all the support of the community. So I appreciate everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, if you don't mind, we have some questions for you. And then if we have time towards the end, our listeners have sent in some questions too we'd like to get with.
Absolutely.
As a lifelong Star Wars fan, it must be amazing you have had the opportunity to work on a Star Wars project. How did you get the opportunity to join the Mandalorian cast?
Sure. The question, I've been asked a couple of times, and what I always say is I've been a blue-collar actor for 20 plus years. And what I mean by that is I take any job. I've been very fortunate to land a lot of successful guest stars and co-stars on national television. At the same time, being married with a family, the guest stars could last 2 to 3 days. What do you do in between then? So for me, I'd rather be on set. It was never anything in terms of my ego. I like to get my hands dirty, whether it's a second team job or an opportunity even with prosthetics. In 2002, I had the privilege of standing in for Frankenstein's monster on Van Helsing, opposite Hugh Jackman and also Will Kemp. And that was the first time working with prosthetics. It's not the greatest talent on earth, but they do want somebody who's not claustrophobic and who also has patience. Since 2002, I had the privilege of working on Bright with Will Smith, as well as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I played a Kree. And again, these were 90-minute to 2-hour prosthetic pieces, which again, it's just sort of a second team opportunity. The reason I got involved in Hollywood as a kid, like most of the kids of the 80s who are here in Hollywood, was because of the likes of George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, Robert Zemeckis, James Cameron. So you can imagine how amazing it was to have gotten this opportunity for a makeup test where I did not know what the project was. But to be invited to a project that was called Huckleberry, I thought it was just going to be an extension of a Marvel TV series, Marvel spreading out left and right. So I just thought it was going to be another spinoff since I just recently worked with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And lo and behold, I walk up the stairs and I'm signing a contract that says Lucasfilm on the top. And I walk into this dressing room and they had about 25 different options for 25 bounty hunters. But the head makeup artist, Brian Sipe, pulled me aside and he said, you were very patient and obviously due to your experience, I'd like to give you the most extensive makeup. So that's where my hands started going numb. And that's where, the light bulb started ticking there in terms of thinking of an opportunity to create more of the character. The one beautiful thing, growing up is that if we had a Han Solo, you had a Walrus Man. If you had a Princess Leia, you had a Hammerhead. Or a Reyes or a Monomon who was literally just chilling up against Jabba's palace. So it's been absolutely amazing to not only have this opportunity, but at the same time, take on this very aggressive campaign over the last couple of years, which has been, I think, pretty historic there in many ways.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard that some of the fans have created some backstory for Gekko.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us some of what we know about Gekko?
Sure. Well, one that happens to be fact is the gauntlets were picked from the Pike's Sentinels from Solo. So his gauntlets are very, very thick. So they were that's the one thing I think they could solidify in Canada at some point is that they were identical gauntlets that were from the Pike Sentinels. So I think there's a very specific backstory to that. Even after episode 1, where I wasn't even seeing that much of season 1, there was a gentleman by the name of J.P. Faust from Maryland, and he reached out to me and he says, Dom, he says, I don't know, I'm a low-level admin over at Wikipedia, and I've just been so fascinated, obviously, with Star Wars fan fiction, and it would be my honor to be able to sort of flesh out your character, even though it's non-canon, non-official. So I said, knock yourself out. And I also told all the 3D printers, I say, guys, the artists, the people that are just so fascinated with this franchise. I said, if you guys want to do 3D prints of God knows what, the Funko Pops or the vintage figures or mini Legos, what have you, or even my life-size blaster or replica of the gauntlet, I said, I appreciate it because I think Lucasfilm would take a sort of a consideration of that in terms of extending his character if we get so much of a momentum going. He wanted to name his species, which was a Sharadon, from what I understand, and he's from the planet, I believe it's something like Sharadia, etc. I would like to believe he speaks Huttese. I always said I would love to share the honors, would say maybe perhaps a very baritone or a bass voice, perhaps maybe even African-American, to where it's a low-level Huttese, which we're very used to from Jabba, and also that little that little ball that protrudes from the palace. I don't think that my voice would do him justice, but I would love to have somebody, especially with now all the extension of animation with the Bad Batch, etc., to take on the life of Gekko there with the voice, because I think a powerful, being 6'4", 260 pounds, other than IG-88, I don't think there's any other bounty hunters besides Clancy that had that kind of size. So I think that would be really appealing to the fan base there. But that's all we know right now. I think the fact that he's flanking Grief Karga, who's the head of the guild, during the standoff in episode 3, ranks him in a high level over time. I think that hopefully that story will come out. But I think we're just in the beginnings right now, just like Boba was in 1981, 82. And I've just been very grateful to Lucasfilm for allowing me the opportunity to campaign for this character. And I can't tell you, at least in December, we're going to have some good news. But we want the keys to the city, so we're putting a little extra mileage this summer for hopefully some extra special things with Gekko there.
As you should. Get out there and get it, man. Get out there and get it.
Thank you. I
wanted to share with you. I know a lot of people have their first with the cantina, where they saw Wolfman for the first time, like that they grip on these specific characters in the cantina. I remember episode 1 and then panning across the cantina. I remember seeing your character, and I was like, now that's wicked. I've never seen something like that. It's just the prosthetic, the way the head was, very, very cool, man. And then seeing you standing behind Grief Karga in episode 3, firing away, that's just, I was like, oh, that guy was in this scene too. I was putting it together in my own head. So that I just wanted to share that with you, because that was one of those cool moments for me, because I'm here now talking to you. And I, as a Star Wars fan, I'm like, this is awesome.
Thank you so much. Brian Sipe is the one who gets all the credit. He was nominated for an Emmy, as well as Joseph Foro, who put together the costume. And again, knowing all of that in regards to the fandom, being one of you guys, I was very passionate in terms of campaigning to get this character to the next level, because again, that's where they started. When we watch Clone Wars, when you watch Rebels, you know that Dave's a huge fan of intertwining the storylines, which is so great. I mean, the invention of Easter eggs, and then also the invention of the rare character. You know, sometimes people will say, well, who is he? You know, what is this? Well, look, I mean, you've got a $10,000 Amonamon card back in your room. So there you go. That's who he is. And I think this is the next generation of very special characters. And I think I'm confident we'll be seeing a lot more of them there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
When Gekko reappears in Star Wars, what do you hope Favreau and Filoni do with the character in season 3?
You know, it's funny. There's a beautiful thing in regards to sound. And the seismic charge that we all are familiar with now from episode 2, I think is a very powerful element of the Star Wars lore. When I was 5 years old, I think it's not only the figures and the colors, not only the brilliant acting of Harrison Ford and Hamill and Fisher and James Earl Jones that really pulled at our heartstrings. At the same time, you have sound. You know, just had Memorial Day, and I can't tell you how honored I am to be the grandson of William Tagliaferri. My grandfather was a member of the 4th Infantry at Normandy Beach on D-Day. And what I'm getting at is that one of the things that frightened him the most was a sound from a German missile. It's called a screaming Mimi. You can look it up on YouTube. It's called a screaming Mimi. But anyhow, for me, I would like Gekko to stand out in terms of just different elements. I think his blaster, the one that I picked, out of all 25, was the biggest blaster on the table.
Oh, but you got to pick that.
I'd like to believe that his blaster has a different sound, a very unique sound versus others. So I would like that to resonate. At the same time, due to his look, the one thing that I connect with is sort of a Frankenstein, where, you know, you have sort of this harsh, scary look on the outside, but also at the same time, I think there's a certain level of empathy to him as well, similar to many bounty hunters. So for me, in terms of character development, I would like to see those elements. And also at the same time, I think due to the thickness of the gauntlets, which I think are really, really thick, I would like to believe, other than just the little whistling willies that Mando has, there are some very specific, quote unquote, tricks of his sleeve, literally and figuratively, with those gauntlets, which I think is very powerful. Yeah, and I mean, there's so many rooms, there's so many opportunities for cameo. The other thing is just in regards to video games as well, you know, where you have, say, this powerful blaster. You know, I always compare myself to sort of Kane Hodder, to where, you know, I have the same size as Jason. So I have a tremendous right hook. But at the same time, in terms of agility, Boba or Mando would run circles around me. And I think that would play so beautifully into some of the video games for the kids there moving forward. And then also, again, we're seeing what Dave's doing with Bad Batch. Again, I think it was just recently where you had some characters that we saw. I think it was even the Goat Boy, the Goat Guy, who make those cameos throughout the show. I would love to see, again, to have Gekko have his own episode with some of the major players there as time goes on.
Absolutely.
Great.
That would be really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
As some of the fans have brought up in the chat, you were recently, or not so recently now, part of a comic book. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, so what happened was Marvel Star Wars bounty hunters loved the character. They were told by Lucasfilm that they need to keep sort of a kibosh on all the characters of Mandalorian. So there was an issue number 12 that I think released in April that unfortunately they were not able to make the window for Gekko for that issue. I told Marvel, I said, look, you have no idea. I said, my level of passion, my level of enthusiasm. I said, just imagine having an actor and performer going state to state. I just got back from Alaska last weekend. In regards to campaigning for this, for your comic, I said, I'll tell you right now, I'll order 6,000 copies and I'll sell them before, the end of the month. I have a really solid following. This JP Faust, who wanted to build up the Wikipedia, he said, once that fell through, he said, well, look, you did such a great job with small business last year. During COVID, I just want to throw out some numbers. I was able to raise over $25,000 for over 50 comic book stores throughout the country. At the same time, over $4,000 for local charitable organizations through a lot of the 501st Rebel Legion and Mandalorian Mercs. Not only that, just having a deep connection with a lot of the fan base all throughout the country, just being approachable. If somebody needed a video, a kid, there was none of this $200 a minute. I gave it for free, and I still do to this day. I don't charge for selfies. The autograph is only $25. So I've just been very fan-friendly in that regard. JP Faust came to me in January, said, look, if that fell through, he said, have you ever considered a fan fiction comic? And I would be honored to write it for you. You're not selling the comic, but you're selling your autograph. I said, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, again, you throw caution into the wind. At the same time, I think that a lot of the country appreciates a mentality of saying, hey, life hands you lemons, or life throws a situation. Instead of making excuses, I'm going to go out there and create an opportunity. And also, I have two sons, they're 15 and 12. For me, it's just very important to set that example to them that you don't make excuses. I've been in this business for 25 years. I'm not a star name, but at the same time, you find your own universe. You create your own way. That to me is what I think this comic book symbolizes. At the same time, I think Gekko symbolizes a lot. I think bounty hunters symbolize a lot in terms of the working man, the working woman, just trying to get by. I always see myself, at the bar in episode 3 with that flashing tracking fob. And I see so many parallels to my own life as well, of trying to find where your next job is going to be. This comic is fan fiction created by the fans, an opportunity, again, to raise money, not only for small business, to support my son for college, and also at the same time to join forces with a lot of the charitable organizations, which I've been donating on a regular basis in regards to any of their causes. But it is strictly fan fiction. It's sort of a gray area, but as I promised to Lucasfilm, it's strictly selling our autograph on it. We're not selling the comic. And we're hoping this will be a gateway to show them the whole point of all the fan art that has been created, all the fan fiction, is to show them we all know that famous line, if you only know the power.
Yeah.
And
right,
I think ultimately that's my lesson, my message to Lucasfilm. And I'm very honored and proud to announce that from all this effort, which will be a total of 50,000 miles by land and air come August, 50,000 miles total. We'll be getting our first license piece in December. So I just can't tell you how honored I am. This is something I think that's historic because it was motivated by the fans. It was also motivated by a performer in and of himself without the studio. So I think the story of Gekko will be a very cool, legendary tale. And I also think that it might be a good venue for Disney Plus in regards to documentary pieces. Peter Mayhew had such a beautiful life. Kenny Baker had such a beautiful life. But I would love to see a documentary of Gekko, in quotes, a Star Wars story, Chewbacca, a Star Wars story, etc. To add to Jeff Goldblum eating ice cream in his documentary there. I said, I love watching Jeff Goldblum eat ice cream. I said, but he needs more content. It's fun. I mean, you just don't know whether he's taking a piss or not. He's looking around and, So I said, they gotta maybe have a little extra in the Disney documentary section. And I think a Star Wars story for so many people who have contributed to this beautiful franchise we love so much. I think that'll be another great. I mean, they just had this great little flyover segment on Disney Plus of all these
beautiful.
these beautiful worlds. I think they did a great job, but I think a documentary segment for a lot of specific stories, and I think mine is very special. So I think there's a lot that they can pull from, but all of this in regards to the fan fiction, the fan art, etc., is for them to say, hey, look, you guys literally created the blue snaggletooth. It wasn't even seen on the show until Clone Wars.
Right.
I mean, you guys know about the rare figure. I said, I guarantee you, I hate all those scalpers in Target and Walmart, but if you were to have a limited release of 5,000 or 10,000 geckos in a Black Series or a Funko Pop, I'll tell you right now, it'll be gone before 5 a.m. the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Before we get too far, what? Oh, you are going to do some appearances near us in Michigan. You're going to do one near Grand Rapids.
We've got Three Oaks, we've got Grand Rapids, and we also have Dearborn Heights, and that's going to be mid-June. I've got Warp Zone Comics around the Detroit area. I believe it's in the Dearborn Heights area. And then also, I think it's Cosmic. Oh boy, forgive me. I have 50 stores. Cosmic Creations, I think, in Grand Rapids. And then also I've got Collector Zone Cantina, really great guy, Marcos, who's got all those, those 2 feet, $1,000 collectible models. He's got an amazing store down in Three Oaks, Michigan, which is right on the Indiana border. And then we'll also be over at Hall of Heroes, and that's in Elkhart, Indiana. And this is all around July, the second week of July. You can go to Lair of the Gecko on Facebook. You can go to Gekko the Hunter on Twitter or Dominic Pace 1 on Instagram to keep track. But we set sail. This weekend I've got Arizona, New Mexico, but I wanted to start Texas and start the tour on a Saturday in San Antonio in Texas on June 19th. And we're going hard until August 23rd, nonstop.
Nice.
It's got to be exciting to know that stuff's opening up. So you, excuse the pun, you can breathe a little and really show your face out there. That's got to be nice.
Yeah, the fans have been absolutely amazing. It's just really been one of those things. Look, I think it's great in terms of the A-listers as far as, during the pandemic singing, shiny, happy people and Imagine, and they're big $5 million homes. But at the same time, I think that it resonated with the smaller towns of a guy getting out there, being proud of what he has, even though it's not much. And also at the same time, adding positivity. The one thing also, we talk about toxic fan base. We also talk about those who just simply love every project that Star Wars puts out. And I think that I unite them all because I have that level of enthusiasm and passion and care for it. And I'm also a fanboy just like everybody else. And I think they see the hard work that we put in. I think that's a sort of a work ethic that resonates within our country. And people appreciate that as opposed to making excuses for yourself. I've had some hardships. It's tough being 6'4". I can't tell you how many times I've had my heart broken where, I can't work with Tom Cruise on Collateral because, he's 5'1", or, Michael Chiklis or Christian Slater. Life isn't easy for any of us, but I think the gesture of this tour, I think spoke so many words, not only with, again, work ethic, but also at the same time going out there and putting money specifically into the non-essential businesses. And to me, I didn't think there was any businesses that weren't essential if you have women and children involved. So it's just been such a beautiful reception. And that's why we've been motivated to go ahead with this fan fiction comic in the most respectful way.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was I checked out the website. The website was being worked on yesterday when I had checked it because I was going to order that comic book.
You're too kind. I just, out of respect to LFL, I took it down because I didn't want them to think, again, I mean, it's just been a signed copy, but I just don't want them to think that we're doing this whole full-on Dominic Pace Productions there. So I have it now on tour, but people can email me too if they need it. But I'm specifically doing it on tour just to be respectful to them and their IP.
Brady and I are going to come to one of those locations and we're going to get a picture with you. We'll wear our costumes and our buckets and whatnot.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We'll definitely come out and support.
Yes,
thank you.
Absolutely. Have you been to Galaxy's Edge yet? How was that immersion? Was there any similarities between working on set and what those beautiful Imagineers do in Disney?
Unbelievable. It's the same people that have been hiring. Olga's Cantina was absolutely gorgeous. It actually brought back memories.
Awesome.
That's awesome. It's going to hurt you in the wallet, but it was nice getting paid versus, paying $40 for, some snacks. But no, it was absolutely amazing. The two rides are just beyond belief. And it's so funny because my wife, she was laughing for a second there. As you're walking up Smuggler's Run, you actually have a sort of a bird's eye view of the top of the Millennium Falcon. And what really got me with that was, I'm sure a lot of Gen Xers and those, a little bit of millennials, but Generation Z can relate. I can't tell you how many times I took that lid off of the Millennium Falcon and played inside of it with the figures. And to see it life size for the first time, it doesn't matter what age you're at, if you're 60 or 70 years old, it's just absolutely amazing because, we didn't have YouTube back then. We didn't have social media. We would literally spend 2 hours, 3 hours, either with our friends or by ourselves, sort of playing out our own imagination, our own creation with those bounty hunters. And, specifically for me around Empire, because I was about 6 or 7 years old, it was just the perfect time. But it was just amazing to see that in person, and both rides really. The only thing that really popped out was that, on the other ride there, oh God, forgive me, I forget the name, but I just would love to see an
Star Tours.
No, not Star Tours. The one that's sort of episode 7. It's
I know what you're talking about. I'm brain farting the name as well.
Yeah, something of the Resistance. Is it Rise of the Resistance?
Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, the only thing that got me was I would just love to see a storyline of start to finish of episode 4 with the same technology. I think that would just be absolutely amazing to go through the adventure of episode 4, which would just be so classic. But they just did such an amazing job. They incorporated that LED screen, which is just so special, that was used in The Mandalorian. It's going to be used so many different ways now. But they've just done an amazing job with it. And it's so great to be able to touch the hearts, because when I was actually filming, the one thing that I just always come from a background of sharing. I just wish that I could have brought so many souls into my heart as far as experience the entire 360-degree battle with Star Wars, because I know how many people just are such fans as well. But this kind of gives people the opportunity to do that. They've done an amazing job, and we're actually going to be heading to the Disney World one in November, as I have an appearance out there in Orlando in November there as well.
Great. Speaking of that, can you tell us what working with the volume was like?
It's funny. I actually did the soundstage adjacent to where actually they built that village. They built that little street outside the cantina. But what was crazy for me was my first screen test with Dave and Deborah Chow and John Favreau. To the left of me, I kept thinking my eyes were deceiving me because I never saw anything so crystal clear before. You can take any IMAX film and just throw it away. It just was beyond. It was actually just the back. You can go back and watch Werner Herzog, the back of his office. That's actually a fake LED facade, and it is just absolutely amazing because you can't tell the difference. You think they're out in the middle of the desert. And I kept looking, and they merged it with sheetrock on the top to where it just beautifully melded in to where you don't know when it's starting and when it's beginning. It's just absolutely amazing. From what I understand, they can do almost a whole 360-degree view. What I would love to see them do is a battle, because now they can put the X-Wing right in the middle, and they can have a camera sort of do maneuvers around, and at the same time, do movement on the LED screen. The future is just so bright in regards to the opportunities that I don't think we've even seen yet.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you got some more time to go over a couple of fan questions?
Absolutely. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Great. One of them is, what was your first Star Wars experience? How old were you?
Well, there's a couple I would like to point out. The one that was really magical for me, and I'll never forget, was the Cantina playset. And the reason that was so special was the first day I'm coming on set. This was about 1980 in Ossining, New York, about 40 minutes north of New York City. My mom, we lived in an apartment in Ossining, New York, and I'll never forget, she gave me all original 12 figures. The first day I'm walking into the cantina, and just with his arms folded, leaning up against the bar, was George Lucas and John Favreau. And the whole time I'm being whisked away to, place me, and they're still working on my makeup. I had about 2 guys working on the makeup and my face mask, etc. I just was brought back to that moment of remembering it for the first time, of seeing the color of Greedo and Hammerhead, and also Walrus Man. I know that his figure gets so much criticism, but as a 5-year-old, I loved all the bright colors. I always joke, I hope that Dave does a play on Hammerhead's bikini in one of the live actions, because it's one of the figures that I remember the most. And I just love how they do throwbacks to some of the retro, original, nods to obviously the original fans and such. But when I was 6 years old in Yonkers, New York, it was a packed theater. And just like everybody in the entire world, Empire Strikes Back resonated in had such a profound effect for a 6-year-old with the music and the stakes due to the acting and also the special effects. That again, we're talking about it 40 plus years later with the same amount of passion and the same amount of energy. To have that hit you and to hit your heartstrings, just similar to E.T., in 1982, you just can't ever recreate that as an adult. But it was just, when you're a child, all your walls are down emotionally, and to get hit that way with a packed theater, it was bigger than life. So that was probably my most special memory. That, of course, out of the question that I get asked often of what's my favorite 1 through 9, it's episode 5 without question.
That was my first Star Wars experience, as I saw episode 5 in the theater.
Yeah.
I think I was 2.
There's only a few. I remember, Goonies had that effect on me. There were some corny ones too, where I don't want to admit, but Rocky IV, to me, it was so emotional. It's like now, I know it's a little campy, but, watching it at a 9-year-old, it was like so intense to watch Apollo die, not knowing I was going to flank him one of these days. But it's just the 80s and cinema, Back to the Future too, as well, was just so ridiculously magical.
Now, I know the answer to this one, but I'm sure most of the fans don't. Did they let you keep anything from set?
Yeah, unfortunately so. I have a funny Shawshank Redemption story with that. You can't. You just can't. If you're one of the A-listers, one of my friends, Chris Bartlett, they give you a little bit more leeway, etc. But the great thing is the fans have been so amazing. They've literally recreated everything for me to a point that we're going to be, with the license piece as well as with Celebration, we're going to be cosplaying the character next year. So the fans were just so amazing in recreating everything from tracking fobs for me to my blaster, etc. I had the Shawshank moment because with episode 3, the battle was extensive for about 3 days. As a matter of fact, I hope that they come out with a director's cut because there were a lot of angles and such. I got pretty close to Mando that I'd love to see included. But anyhow, long story short, Gekko has tan tall boots, and the pants were tucked in. So as I was getting down on the ground, the dirt was very distinct. At the time, I'm thinking, I said, well, this can't be Tatooine because the dirt is black. This has to be a different planet. But each day, the dirt would seep into my boot. And when I would change, I would take it, the black dirt out, and I would put it in my pocket. I did not save any. There was just a diehard fan, I want to say from Illinois or Indiana, and I sent him the vial of it just as a, when I know that people are truly going to appreciate something, I give the shirt off my back. So I was just so grateful to have the experience. But that's all I was able to keep there was just a little bit of the black dirt. But otherwise, no. But so grateful to the fans. They're creating my cloak now, my gauntlets, and we're working on the prosthetic right now with about a few different places all over the country. One guy quoted me at $4,500. I said, "You got to be kidding me!" It's insane. I mean, I know it's silicone, and I know it's a life cast, but come on, I'm not buying a car. I'm not buying 4 freaking horns on my head. Come on.
Yeah.
So we're working on that now, and that'll be some fun appearances around Celebration, and then also the launch this licensed product with a really cool bar out here next year called Scum and Villainy, which is pretty awesome. It looks just like Olga's Cantina.
That's where Kevin Smith does his podcast from.
Yeah, I believe he's part owner there. I could be wrong, but I believe he's part owner.
No, the guy named JC owns that.
Okay. Yeah, well, I know sometimes they have investors. I used to manage a nightclub called Geisha House years ago, and sometimes a lot of celebrities will throw in $50,000, have a few points, etc. there.
Oh yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Did you have any fanboy moment over anybody?
I've been doing it for 20 years, respectfully. It was less of that. It was more of just literally, it was a great movie called Bugsy with Warren Beatty. And, I did it with Annette Bening, and he stops at the side of the road, which is supposed to be old Vegas before even Vegas was created. And he tells Annette Bening, he says, wait, he said, I got to stop for a second. He gets out of the car and he just looks at this open desert, and it's just brilliant scene because in his mind, you obviously know what he's thinking of the possibilities. So for me, as far as the fanboy moment, was thinking of the possibilities of Gekko, of his future, because knowing how special it is to be a rare character, it's almost as special as being one of the stars. So that was the only thing that was churning through my head for the 2 weeks, and then also the frustration and sort of anticipation of knowing that I had to keep this quiet for an entire year. at that point. We even went to Chicago Celebration to meet with some illustrators secretly. It was almost like doing some kind of a illegal trade. I'm like, hey, come over here. I got to talk to you. But that was really, unfortunately, the fanboy moment for me was just knowing what the potential could be of being a one-of-a-kind species, a one-of-a-kind bounty hunter, and also understanding, my passion and enthusiasm, my ability as an actor. I'm confident in regards to the roles that I have played on television. So just seeing the potential of that and to be, with the fan base, with the franchise for a very long time. So that's what was going through my head. Of course, seeing George Lucas there was beyond belief. And to watch, Favreau work, I think was amazing. The one thing that wasn't so much fanboy, but was just so much adrenaline was the battle itself. And I think any boy or girl or man or woman who was a diehard Star Wars fan would have felt the same adrenaline. Because for me, the other thing is, aside from Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi was the first time I ever heard applause in the theater after the whole battle with the skiff, and the skiff and the Sarlacc, pit, etc. And I said, I want to give the same level of intensity. And lo and behold, from what I understand, episode 3 is one of the favorite episodes.
It's
absolutely my favorite.
It's my favorite,
from season 1, absolutely.
So for me, it was like, the hairs were standing up, not on my head, but on my forearms, just because of the level of excitement and the commitment that I wanted to give to the fan base. And as a way of also saying thank you to, the OGs who obviously did such an amazing job, literally giving us goosebumps from 4 through 6.
Nice. There was one more that question that I wanted to hit. We all kind of have our favorite, Star Wars, we call them buckets, helmets.
Yeah.
Do you have one that you particularly like?
Absolutely. I really, being 6'4", unfortunately, I'm getting a little bit of a gut now. I said, that's the other thing too, as I said, I'm sort of a burly bounty hunter, which I think is great because I said, most of the guys, most of the fans, they look like, my size. But I love the sleekness and the height of the Death Trooper. I think it's just absolutely amazing with that green tint as well, with the green glow. Also, their blasters and also their helmets are just really intense and dark. I love the way that they spoke. I thought that was kind of cryptic. The one thing for me, even with Gekko, like I said, whether it's Huttese or whether it's a language that nobody has heard before, I think there's something so special that resonates with the fan base in regards to sound. But the Death Trooper for me, because they're tall and they're imposing and the all black. What guy doesn't like all black? It's pretty badass.
I definitely agree with you. I feel like Gekko's voice is going to be deep and gravelly.
Yeah, I would love that. And I would love to share, I used to be with Tim Robbins' company, the Actors Gang. They call Share the Food. I would love to share this honor with another actor. Obviously, with Anakin, you have the voice in Clone Wars, so everyone is sort of sharing each other sort of collectively. And I would love nothing more to be able to do that, but just to see him continue on in so many ways. And that's the reason we're doing this campaign. I believe they're supportive. Otherwise, we would have gotten I think a strong slap on the wrist by now. And I think they see our intentions and also the potential for them. They literally created the rare character, the rare figure, Pokemon, what is it? They call it a Charizard or what have you. I think what happened ultimately with the sequel trilogy and also with technology, the kids playing Angry Birds, the kids playing Fruit Ninja, their secondary and their third characters probably fell off. Versus, the prequels versus obviously the legendary original 96 figures. But obviously when you hit a home run like John and Dave did, the fandom is right there. And every character, there are no small parts. I saw a guy, I think I posted probably maybe a few months ago where they did 120 card back of all season 1 and season 2 of all the Mandalorian characters, because when you hit a home run, the fan base is going to be there. And I think they overkilled it to a certain extent with a million different Grogu poses, a million different Mando things. And I think it would be awesome to extend that out to some of the rare guys, not just myself. I think there were other characters as well that had some really cool, interesting looks, but hopefully they do that. But I'm here to show them the way in the most respectful way.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely. You're doing a great job, dude.
You've been more than generous already, but is there anything else that you want to say before we let you go?
No, just that I appreciate everyone's support. Again, I know that there was a little bit of skepticism with this tour in regards to IP, et cetera. I just want everyone to know that, the most important thing to me is love. And for me, ultimately, this whole thing is not, I'm not charging for selfies. It's not a cash grab. I have a 15-year-old son. He's a straight A student. And believe me when I tell you, this entire investment is going towards his college. I can't tell you how proud I am of him. So for those who come out and support, again, I see some of the prices of 60, 80, 100, $300 to sign a Funko Pop. It's just really, I couldn't be more friendly and approachable for the fan base. And I just want to let everyone know I just really appreciate you. And you'll see through my actions in terms of my attentions over the next couple of years in terms of the integrity of this tour and also my passion of being a Star Wars fan.
Dude, that's awesome.
That is so great. Fantastic.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. We're super humbled that you hung out with us. Absolutely. and our audience. They really appreciate it too. I don't know if you can see the chat from where you're at, but they've just been having a ball.
Awesome. Oh, thanks so much, guys. And again, check out the sites because I'll be all over the country for the next 2.5 months, and just appreciate everyone's support coming in. Even just to say hi. Like I said, I don't even just to take a photo. The one thing with the COVID was, there's some families going through struggles and just they would come in and just take a picture. There was no questions asked just because I'm so appreciative. I'm honored that you would take a photo with me. So I look forward to meeting so many of you guys.
Yep. We'll definitely be seeing you here in a few weeks when you get close to us.
Awesome, guys. Well, have a great day and best to all your fans. And we'll see you guys soon. Let's have a great summer.
All right. Take it easy, man.
Take it easy.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Dominic Pace.
Fantastic.
He was amazing.
That was great.
That guy gives good interview.
Yeah, he does, man. He is on point.
He didn't even have to make us do a whole lot.
No, he did all the talking. We just give him a little bit of a nudge of a question. He's like, got it. Here we go, baby.
Yeah.
Love it.
We are going to dip right back down real fast, and we're going to finish up the into the Bad Batch, the Easter eggs for Bad Batch. And then we're going to take our customary emptying of the tanks.
Yes.
And we'll carry on with talking about the bounty hunters of the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
Because, Gekko is obviously such a great bounty hunter. We should talk about some more.
Yes.
So, without further ado, Bad Batch Easter eggs.
Yes. First one. Cheers comic legend Rhea Perlman makes her Star Wars debut as Criminal Sid. As Lucasfilm development and franchise guru Pablo Hidalgo points out, she's the third Cheers veteran to join the space opera.
Which is pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
There's an interesting tie-in that I was just made aware of with Final Fantasy and Star Wars. I've been playing Final Fantasy games, I don't know, since Final Fantasy VII came out.
Okay.
There's very often references in Final Fantasy to Star Wars.
Right.
Like characters like Biggs and Wedge. And there's a few other nods. There's usually a nod or two out of every Final Fantasy game.
Right.
Well, this is another one. One of the main protagonists that is often in the Final Fantasy games is Sid.
Oh, nice.
And he's usually some kind of an engineer, or at one point, I think he was a president of something, or this or that or the other thing. But he's always a pivotal character in the story.
Right.
And now we see Sid in Star Wars.
That's pretty cool.
Which is super cool.
Hell yeah.
Moochie isn't the same Rancor as the famous one that Luke Skywalker fights and kills in Return of the Jedi. That creature's name was Patissa.
Nice. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah, because some people were like, oh no, Luke's going to kill Moochie. No. Different Rancor.
Moochie's dead by the time that happens. Rancors are a reptilian species native to the planet Dathomir, which is also home to the Force-using sect known as the Witches of Dathomir. Rancors are sentient, or not quite as self-aware as a person, but no mental pushover either. As demonstrated in this episode, they follow a pack hierarchy and will obey people or Rancors they see as dominant over them.
I thought that was super interesting that the animal interacts with its community by being submissive to whatever its dominant is.
Yeah.
And that Wrecker is powerful enough to get into a slugfest with a Rancor, baby
For like
Rancor,
3
but
hours.
still till they're both exhausted.
Yeah.
The name of the planet, Ord Mantell, might be familiar. Throughout both canon and old legends continuity, it's known to be a hotbed of criminal activity and bounty hunters. And Han Solo mentions it in The Empire Strikes Back, saying that he ran into a bounty hunter there.
Nigerian slaves first appeared in the Clone Wars episode Kidnap. Their slavery business is state-sponsored, with their queen trying to build an empire on the backs of captured people. I think I've seen that episode.
Yep. Wrecker mentions the Bad Batch's mission being as easy as a simple smash and grab, like that time on Quat. Quat was another relatively well-known expanded universe planet, site of a tactically important shipyard. I want to say that's in an episode of Clone Wars as well.
Maybe. Big thanks to denofgeeks.com for all the great Easter eggs. We appreciate it. Now we can take our customary.
We can.
But I don't have to go.
I do.
I'm going to have to go during the show. I wasn't drinking, so.
Oh.
Hello, this is George Takei, reminding you, Don and Brady, for your mid-show pee break. Oh my, may I watch? Wang.
Dominic says that he appreciates it.
Awesome.
I told him he was fantastic.
That was awesome. That was one of the coolest things we've ever had gotten to do with this show. It's probably number one so far.
It was cool.
I appreciate all you guys for joining us and being a big audience, if you will. I mean, it was fantastic. This was great. You guys were going with chat. I was trying to keep up with the chat, but I was trying to listen to him because I found what he was saying interesting. So I was like, I can't do two things at once. So, but that was awesome. Sorry for the internet silence. I was reading the chat. That guy is one of us. He's a nerd. We're all nerds. Yeah, he was answering so many of the questions that you had so many of those questions he was firing off, and then some of our questions in the beginning we had, and he was answering so many things so fast. It was nuts. It was nuts. So we were trying to sift through the questions we had because we didn't have them in any specific order. So we were trying to get through them. Get me on Wookiee Radio. I'm scared. No, I'm not. But I can do it. I'm nervous, but I'll make it happen. One day. Maybe multiple days. We could do a 2-show. I don't know. The limits, the endless limits are endless. Endless possibilities. Something like that. Some wise words. I don't know. Roll Farm's like, maybe we should rethink this. I'll do it one time. He just happened to be online and I just wasn't. I didn't know what was happening. So I don't have the studio in my backyard like some of us do. So, oh man. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Mr. America.
Mr. America.
That really hurts.
Be safe. Oh, I need a beer.
I'm so sore. I'm working out.
Yeah.
My body's just not used to it. And I've been beating myself up. Tomorrow will be fun at the gym.
Nice.
I'll have a day off, and then that just means that my body's going to take 10 minutes to want to start working out again.
All right. I might take a pee break mid Bounty Hunter.
Okay. Give me some seconds.
Nostalgia Inc. in downtown Jackson is your one-stop shop for comic books, graphic novels, tabletop games, supplies, and tons of other super nerdy stuff.
They have everything from your favorite superhero comics to all the latest manga and horror graphic novels.
Superman, Spider-Man, The Avengers, My Little Pony, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, My Hero Academia, Star Wars, and Batman are just a few of the familiar titles you will see while browsing through the store.
And don't forget to check out their back catalog.
And for all your tabletop needs, Nostalgia has the largest in-stock selection in the area of Dungeons & Dragons books, miniatures, and more. As well, they have the latest Magic the Gathering and Pokemon card game releases.
Store hours are currently 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
So come to downtown Jackson and get nostalgic at Nostalgia Inc. What's up, everybody? This is Big Lovin and Don DellaSnooch.
We wanted to take a minute to tell you how to get more from the Escape Pod experience.
Become a Patreon supporter and you will get lots of bonus content, including movie reviews, videos from Comic-Cons, behind-the-scenes content, and more.
But even better, Patreon supporters get extra entries into the quarterly drawing for the Escape Crate.
The Escape Crate is full of great stuff like t-shirts, Funko Pops, stickers, mugs, and other random goodies.
The higher the membership level, the more entries per month you'll earn. You also can receive one entry per episode you share on social media.
So if you have a couple extra bucks, toss us some. We will use it for covering the cost of hosting the show, paying for booths at cons, and equipment upgrades.
Thanks for all the support, and now back to the show. And we're back.
Fuck.
Yeah?
I can't stand that fucking mask anymore.
I don't know why. It's so cute.
No, it's not. It's freaky. It's freaky. You have an abnormally small head.
Wonder if I can eat M&Ms with it. I did it.
That just looked bad. Oh, God.
There it is. You can eat M&Ms in a Yoda mask.
Much entertainment.
Much entertainment was had for sure.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the bounty hunters of the Star Wars universe.
We're not going to talk about all of them.
No.
We're going to talk about some of them. We're going to miss out on some that you might have wanted us to talk about. That's just the way it goes. We're filling time here, folks.
With good stuff, though.
With good stuff, but oh, fuck. It's got blue and black. I thought it was all going to be.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to make that go away. So let's talk about Zam Wessel real fast.
Oh.
A Claudite female bounty hunter who lived during the last years of the Galactic Republic. The Claudite Wessel possessed the ability to physically alter her appearance, a power which she used to assume the vestige of a human female. Prior to the beginning of Clone Wars, the bounty hunter Jango Fett enlisted Wessel's aid to assassinate Senator Padme Amidala on Naboo. Just think of all the trouble we could have saved. Credits.
Boom. If she'd have just done it right.
Her efforts ultimately fail, however, resulting in Wessel's death at the hands of Fett before she could identify him as a would-be assassin. I was not overjoyed about that character until we got to the end of the chase scene when she got shot and she turned into the green dude.
Yeah, and the green thing you do.
I was like,
Claudite.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that is kind of cool.
Yeah. But Sam Wessel never did it. I don't want to do Dengar. Dengar wasn't one of my things. If you want to do Dengar, you can.
You know, I never did understand why people like Dengar quite so much.
I'm being real here. People are probably going to be like, you guys are trash. And that's fine. We're trash. Okay.
He does have a very, really, he's part of this group called Krait's Claw.
Right.
Which is Boba Fett, Bosk, Asajj, and Dengar. So he kind of gets some notoriety from who he hangs out with, kind of deal.
Right. See, I'm not going to lie to you, man. Bounty hunters were never my thing.
No.
Stormtroopers, bro.
You know who really liked bounty hunters? Brian.
Yeah.
Brian thought the bounty hunters were cool.
Brian was all about bounty hunters. Fuck yeah, he was.
Yeah, Dengar, I mean, Dengar has a look, you know, and I like the look, but even what they did with him in Legends was kind of, there's Dengar.
Yeah.
You know? You want to do IG-88? Everybody likes IG-88.
I can get down with IG-88. IG-88, IG-88B, also commonly known simply as IG-88 or as a flute droid, was a rogue, deadly masculine IG series assassin droid manufactured by Holo-1 Laboratories, who worked as a bounty hunter. Following the Battle of Hoth, he and several other bounty hunters were summoned by Darth Vader to the Executor and hired to track down the Millennium Falcon and her rebel crew. Unable to track his quarry, IG-88 trailed his chief rival, Boba Fett, to Bespin, where the bounty hunter nearly destroyed the assassin droid. However, IG-88 managed to survive.
What happened there?
I just stumbled over my merds.
Yeah, your merds? That's tough.
My merds got mixed up. At some point, IG-88 undertook a software infiltration into Death Star 2, but his plan was single-handedly thwarted by R2-Q5.
I'm really interested in what the fuck that means.
What?
He took or undertook a software infiltration into the Death Star 2.
A computer virus.
Get that?
Yeah.
But then, like, R2-Q5?
Astromech.
Yeah. I
have the Funko Pop of him.
Do you?
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it's that who it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
that
like black and gold.
That whole part of his backstory, I'm like, news to me.
But he was thwarted by like R2-D2's evil cousin. Like, that's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like his cousin Ted. Like, Ted fucked him up.
And as I recall, isn't IG-88's head made out of like an espresso machine or
from
something?
From the cantina.
Is that what it is?
It was one of the background things for the cantina.
Mm-hmm. Asajj Ventress.
Let's get into her.
Asajj Ventress. It's going to be that kind of party?
Not yet.
All right.
Maybe.
Asajj Ventress is a really interesting character, especially if you watch Clone Wars.
Yes.
Asajj Ventress was a Danthamirian female who at various points throughout her life, she was a slave, a Jedi Padawan, an assassin, one of the Sith, a Night Sister, and a bounty hunter. In the final decades of the Galactic Republic's reign, Ventress was born into a clan of Force-sensitive Night Sister witches that led the Mother Talzin, or was led by the Mother Talzin on the planet Dathomir. What was the property that had all the stuff with the Night Sisters? Was that Clone Wars? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's some great stuff in comics and in Clone Wars about the Night Sisters. She was eventually discovered by Sith Lord Count Dooku, fell under his guidance and tutelage as a dark acolyte and aspiring apprentice. She also ends up falling back in love with a Jedi and dies saving him from Count Dooku's Force lightning.
You know who I could see playing her with a shaved head? Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah? I was thinking the girl that plays Nebula on Guardians.
Demi Moore. From G.I. Jane when she shaved her head. I can see that.
Young Demi Moore, though.
Young Demi Moore. You couldn't do it now.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it now, but young Demi Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Demi Moore looks good. We can Google that later.
Well, maybe I'll Google that after you leave.
Fair enough. You got to do what you got to do. Call me in like fucking 3 minutes. You were right. You were right.
You're right. She's still hot. Enough. Hot enough.
Gillen.
Karen Gillan.
That's what.
She plays Nebula.
But that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Demi Moore.
Right, Danny Moore.
Danny Moore's brother.
Beef stew.
Sister. His name's Demi.
Just a can of Danny Moore beef stew playing Asajj Ventress.
We got to get there somehow.
I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Whole lot of Googling. Whole lot of Googling.
You want to tell us about our next bounty hunter? Buddy?
Let's get into Jango Fett, huh?
Definitely.
Because we all love Jango Fett. If you don't, that's your opinion. You're allowed to have it.
Yeah.
Jango Fett was a Mandalorian human male bounty hunter and the clone template of the Grand Army of the Republic. Known as the best bounty hunter in the galaxy during the final years of the Galactic Republic, Fett was proficient in marksmanship as well as unarmed combat. The Mandalorian armor that he wore featured various weapons and gadgets, including a flamethrower, the Westar 34 blaster pistols, and a jetpack. His personal starship was the Firespray 31 class patrol and attack craft Slave 1. Hailing from the planet Concord Dawn, Fett was a foundling of the Mandalorians and at one point fought in the Mandalorian Civil Wars before becoming a bounty hunter.
The Planet Concord Dawn business ties in with Clone Wars and Rebels. Yeah, Rebels.
Yeah. Rebels.
And there is word that Fett what is it? Somebody translated Din Djarin's chain code.
No, that was Fett's chain code.
Was it Fett's chain code?
Because he shows it to Din Djarin.
And it proves that he is Mandalorian royalty. Or not royalty, but like he's like of the lineage of the Mandalore.
Right. I think so. I don't remember. It happened so long ago. If you'd asked me when it came out, because I seen that thing, but I just don't remember now.
Right.
Because I don't know how important it really is.
Ultimately, I think we're going to find out that Boba Fett is more important than we were led to believe.
I love it. I freaking love it. Shut up, Pork Chop.
I don't know what Pork Chop's talking about.
But he can shut up.
Yeah. I hope you trip in the parking lot.
Twice.
I don't hope you trip in the parking lot. You're old. You'll probably break.
I skinned my knee. Damn it.
Another interesting bounty hunter is Bosk.
I always kind of dug him.
Yeah, it's very cool design.
Cool look. He had a cool look.
The 3 fingers thing, though, never really I never could quite figure out how you're all that dangerous with this going on, but
because he has claws.
Yeah.
If you have claws, you'll be fine.
Bosk also took part in hunting the Wookiees that were natural enemies of his species, particularly growing a distaste for the Wookiee Chewbacca and his partner Han Solo.
Why? Because they were bounty hunters?
I don't know why a distaste.
Freelance?
Maybe he should use a different seasoning.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Following the Battle of Hoth, Bosk would be called upon by Darth Vader to find and capture Solo and Chewbacca.
I don't give a shit about her.
You don't care about Aura Singh?
Nope.
I didn't either, but she was on like a top 10 list, and I was like, well, maybe we should talk about her.
No, we're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. Brady says we're fine.
See, this is what people want, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is right here. Boba Fett, an unaltered clone of the famed Mandalorian bounty hunter Jango Fett, was a human male bounty hunter whose career spanned decades. From the fall of the Galactic Republic to the rise of the Galactic Empire, Fett emulated his father and genetic donor by wearing a customized suit of Mandalorian armor. His personal starship was the Slave 1, a Firespray 31 class. Boop, boop, boop. Get your shit together.
Just read the fucking cue cards.
Patrol and attack craft that once belonged to Jango. Trained in combat and martial skills from a young age, Fett was one of the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy during the reign of Emperor Palpatine. He became a legend over the course of his career, which included contracts for both the Empire and the extensive criminal underworld. He tried to prevent Solo's rescue by the Alliance to restore the Republic, only to fall in the great pit of the Carcoon when Solo accidentally slammed a pole into Fett's jetpack. Although Fett survived his ordeal with the man-eating Sarlacc, his armor was sold to Cobb Vanth by Jawa scavengers. He eventually regained it by confronting Din Djarin, the Mandalorian who took Fett's armor from Vanth. After helping Din Djarin to rescue the foundling Grogu, Fett returned to Tatooine where he killed Bib Fortuna and claimed the late Jabba's throne with Fennec Shan by his side.
When we met Cobb Vanth,
yeah,
I had a moment where I was like, this motherfucker better not be Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Or I was like, this guy, there's no way this dude is Boba Fett. And I mean, it turned out to be right, but still, I was like, this, I forget the actor's name.
Timothy Olyphant?
Yes. Yeah. I was like, no Timothy Olyphant, Boba Fett.
No. But he couldn't be then. That would make no sense to any of the canon.
No. I was just saying, like, the way it set it up, you know, you saw him in the desert walking up on Fennec Shan's body.
Right.
And all that. And then, you know, to see him in the stuff later on.
Yeah.
I was like, this ain't right. And, you know, it worked out real well. So this is a character that I don't like, but I know that tons of people think he's fucking great.
I don't really have a feeling one way or another towards him yet. I haven't figured that out, whether I like him or I don't like him.
Mm-hmm. The way he's written, he has this just insane amount of clout.
Right.
And he's super arrogant, but then you never really see him do anything that makes you go, that guy's a badass. You know what I mean? Anyway, Cad Bane. Cad Bane was a Duros male bounty hunter in the galaxy during the Clone Wars. He was considered a leading bounty hunter in the galaxy during the Clone Wars due to the death of Jango Fett at the Battle of Geonosis in 22 BBY. That's the first thing we've gotten into in a while that's got a date to it. He even had a temporary alliance with the Sith Lord Darth Maul. He specialized in fighting Jedi and did battle with some of the most skilled Jedi during the Clone Wars, including Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Nice.
And I think doing battle with seems like a misnomer. Like General Grievous did battle with.
Right.
Cad Bane ran away a lot.
Yeah, he's a runner.
You know, it was like
General Grievous was a runner too.
Yeah, that's true.
They both are runners.
But Cad Bane usually had some kind of thing that blew up so he could get away. Or
I love the way Cad Bane looks.
Do you?
I think the way he looks, the tubes coming out and everything with the cowboy hat. I think he's got a dope look to him, but I'm not sure how I feel on his character yet.
I think my problem with him, honestly, is the duster and the cowboy hat.
I think it's dope.
Do you?
Yeah, I think.
See, maybe that's the difference. Maybe some people just like that look, and I'm just like, you know. And I didn't put on the list, but I should have, and Brady has since corrected me. Din Djarin.
Yeah, because he is my favorite bounty hunter. Because, like I said, I was never a bounty hunter guy before. I was not a Boba Fett guy. I've always said I've never been a Boba Fett guy. He just never. I'm like, oh yeah, he's cool, but like he never did it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Din Djarin. I'm a Mando guy. Like I love the Mandalorian.
Right.
So he is my favorite bounty hunter.
I really liked the look of Jango Fett, but I didn't like he's a little bit callous and shallow of a character.
Right.
And I maybe because we had more time with Din Djarin, like we fleshed him out.
Yeah.
But Jango was very what's the word I'm looking for? He just didn't have any real personality. He just said a few dickish things and then got killed by was it Mace Windu?
Yes, Mace Windu decapitated his ass.
But I agree with you. I think Din Djarin quickly became at least one of my favorite bounty hunters. He's a well-rounded character. He's got a real fleshed out personality, you know, but some of that, like I said, comes from having time with him. You know, like I really got to like IG-11 quite a bit through the Mandalorian.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Super great character. The way they fleshed him out, they gave him a bit of a personality, though it was a computer personality. It was a personality.
A nurturing personality.
Yep. Then he got switched over to be a nursemaid, which was
that's
really
what
cool.
I meant. That's what I meant. Being the nurturing personality versus being the assassin.
You
know.
But I think that whole thing goes back to like Asajj Ventress. We spent a lot of time with her in Clone Wars. There was a few episodes with Cad Bane. We spent a little bit of time with Boba in Clone Wars, getting to know how he was in his youth.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones we just don't get much out of.
Ventress in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, like a ton.
Yeah.
That whole like first 2 seasons, she's around a lot.
Right.
I'm
a stormtrooper guy, dude.
Yeah.
I always will be.
Lightsabers and stormtroopers.
Lightsabers and stormtroopers. That's what does it for me. Like, I would love to have an episode on lightsabers, but there's only so much you can talk about lightsabers to an audio audience. Be like, this one's cool.
You know what we could do though at some point? Maybe we could talk about like just in general, we could talk about the weapons of Star Wars, and we could do lightsabers and we could do blasters, and we could, maybe talk about some of the differences about what's.
We'd have to mingle that in with other stuff because there's only so much we can talk about that.
Maybe we could start talking about
the world of Star Wars, the world and weapon of Star
Wars. If something's really not happening, jeez. If something's really not happening with
Star Wars. Hello? It's for me.
It's for you.
Star Wars?
We'll just talk to the rest of you guys over here.
It's Star Wars. They're on the phone.
Like maybe if things aren't going on with Star Wars, we'll start maybe doing a little segment so that we got something that's
in there.
But as far as that goes, that's kind of the bounty hunter game. There's a few dozen other ones. There's definitely a lot more of them that are like Gekko than they are like Jango and Boba.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot of them that they've fleshed out a lot to do with. There's some stuff in Legends. Like I said, there's damn near a whole book, I think, just about Dengar.
I'd love the dude's passion for Gekko.
It's amazing.
I want more of it now. In some aspect, I want to see that character again now because I love the dude's passion.
Right. And I think that if given the opportunity to do something bigger with Gekko, the fans will respond to it even more because they know that they've been supporting it.
Exactly.
Instead of just Lucasfilm being like, here's a thing you might like. The fans have been like, we like this thing.
Yeah, but have you paid attention to this thing that was going on over here while the world was shut down? This guy was still trying to go around and spread the gospel of Star Wars, my friend.
Right. I'm really looking forward to when we get to go out and meet him in person.
Yeah, because we got to figure out that. We have to figure that out.
Yep. Rural Farm Boy says, here's to Gekko. So
here's to Gekko.
To Gekko.
Oh yeah.
Well, with that being said, everybody make sure that you like this video. Give us some kind of review wherever you find this. Nobody said anything on our YouTube video last week. Once again, like, subscribe, share, and comment on our YouTube videos. And then we'll get you entered in to win one of these 6 Star Wars Informer magazines.
Oh, yeah.
I got to send this particular one out to Scott, but I also have another one of this cover. So definitely make sure that you comment.
We have 3, don't we, right? Because I told you I wasn't getting rid of one of them.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Because if not, sorry, somebody else isn't getting the other one. We only have
there's
2.
3 of them.
One.
We're keeping one.
We're framing one because this cover specifically
is sick.
Is cool. It's up my alley, like hardcore.
Yep. But yeah, that one's going out to Scott.
Sorry, I'm selfish.
Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, comment.
Do it all. Do all the things.
Do all the things. Click on all the buttons.
Use emojis.
Make sure you turn on the little shaky bell that lets you know we're going live.
Use the emoji that says we're number 1.
Yeah.
Because people like that one.
Yeah, Cameron used that one. That was a good one.
We were number 1.
We were number 1.
And that's fantastic.
anyway, those kind of reviews and comments just help people find our show.
Hell yeah.
Please make sure that you subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts.
Do it.
Even if you're just watching on YouTube, go out to your podcasting app and subscribe there. It helps people find us that way too.
Absolutely.
Gets us on charts.
Absolutely.
Brady, tell these guys where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at lowercase o0 capital BIG _ capital LOVIN 0 lowercase o. And once again, that's on Instagram and Twitter. Don, tell them where they can find you, buddy.
Well, they can always find me at Jetfire1979 on Twitter, and I'm DellaSnooch on Instagram. You can find us and other great podcasts at red5network.com.
Fuck the chat. Don, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
And go blue.
Go blue.
Oh, it's time to pee.
This podcast is part of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts, visit red5network.com.